What up, YouTube land? You might say to yourself, what are you doing up so late? It is 12:23 a.m. Let me tell you what I'm doing up. Getting ready for the big show. Working with the lighting, working with, you can't hear it, but there's stuff going on up here, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. And, you know, things. You know, doing a YouTube channel isn't all that easy. It really isn't. You got cutting, editing, getting out, running around, trying to think of different content to put up so it's not the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not going to have much question and answer this Wednesday because this Wednesday is the Wednesday, which actually would be, what was going to be? It'll be tonight. This is coming out on Wednesday. Wednesday Night Live will be tonight. So if you got any serious questions or anything you want to talk about or any questions you want to ask any of the gang, just tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time for Wednesday Night Live, and you can ask, chat, all you want. So, I'm getting lost here thinking my thoughts. I'm looking at some of these things I got to do for Wednesday, and I got notes all, you can't see everything, but I got notes down here. And I got all kinds of, you know, can only see notes here, back and forth of things that I got to take care of for the show. A lot of prep involved. This is going to be a little different, I think, today. I got this, I get these messages once in a while, email messages from people around the villages. And on my videos, I'm pretty straight shooter about things, how I see it. I don't try to be insulting in any way. A lot of people take it that way, but I don't try to be. I do this for basic information for people that's thinking about coming down here and dropping a cool dime on a house, and let you know exactly what you're in for, because I think a lot of people, when they hear about retirement community or they hear the word 55 plus, right away they think, oh, you got to be at least 55 years old to live there. And that's wrong. Oh, it's a gated community. I've seen gates. Well, we're not a gated community. It's deceiving. There's a lot of things that's deceiving. And so I just try to put it out there as this is the way it is. And then sometimes people take offense to it. I don't care. Take offense to it. It's the truth. Because the day's going to come, if you do drop a dime and come down here, you're not going to be able to say, well, I didn't know it wasn't a gated community. I always thought it was. No, you knew, because if you watch my channel, I've told you 100 times. This place is called a community with gates. You're hearing what you want to hear, but you're not listening. It's not a gated community. And you just need to know that. I don't want you to coming down here thinking it's one thing and to find out it's another. And I've heard that one right there, what I just explained to you. I've heard people complain about that so many times. They say, oh, the realtor lied to them. You know, whoever. I don't want to get into that argument, but I'm just simply saying that we're dealing with elderly people here. I'm one of them. And if I haven't learned one thing about running this channel, I've learned this. There's a lot of people, elderly, young alike, makes no difference, but especially the elderly. They don't listen. They hear what they want to hear, and then as soon as you tell them something, right away they want to argue with you and tell you, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. So yeah, just know this. 55 plus does not mean you have to be 55 years old to live here. That's number one. The gates we have all around the villages that you'll find everywhere does not mean we're a gated community. That's number two. And when it comes to your neighborhood swimming pools, and I've mentioned this several times, and I don't care where you buy a house in the villages, your neighborhood swimming pools is almost like a public toilet. Every landscaper in that whole area, anybody driving by that decides they need to use the restroom, is going to park in your parking lot out there in front of the pool where golf carts usually park. They're going to walk inside with their dirty, muddy boots with chemicals on their boots from spraying people's yards or whatever. And they're going to go in there and they're going to use your bathroom. And now people might say, what's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that is those pools are for residents and their guests only. I've talked to Mr. Rohan, which runs all of the recreational departments. He said I'm exactly right on that, but it's a constant effort. He said it's just a constant effort because the village is getting so big. They just don't have enough people to patrol everything. But that's something that you're going to have to deal with, just like everybody else has to deal with it. And here's how I deal with it. I haven't been in my neighborhood pool now in 2 years. I pay amenity fees. I haven't been to the pool in 2 years because I'm just tired of dealing with it. I just don't want to deal with it. If I go to any kind of a pool, I generally will go to the manatee pool, which is a family pool. In other words, there's children that goes in there. But I would rather deal with the children playing than dealing with some landscaper tracking his crap all over the pool. I just would rather do that. And one thing I knew about the pools down at rec centers is the landscaper won't go in there because there's somebody there all the time. He sits right inside that big building right there, so they won't go in there. So they know what they're doing down here. And they also know that in order for them to get nailed, we have to know the company name. Well, most of these guys have a pickup truck and they go down to Home Depot and buy a $500 trailer and a couple of lawnmowers and they go into business for themselves and they don't put a sign on their truck. You don't know who it is. So they can't keep up with it. So that's another little problem you may run into. The only other thing that I can say is that the squares are owned by the developer and his companies. Your amenity fees do not pay for any of the entertainment at any of the squares. Never did, and they still don't. Those amenity fees comes from the tourist. In Sumter County, it comes from the tourist something, I forget what it's called. It's a tourist fund. And then other than that, the businesses in those towns, whether it be Lake Sumter, Spanish Springs, or Brownwood, the businesses inside there, they pay a fee that pays for the entertainment. One hand washes the other. The entertainment brings in a lot of people downtown, means that they usually buy more. So that's who pays for the entertainment down there. I wanted to read this little note I got. I got this, I don't know when I got it exactly, but I get these every now and then. I was going through my phone. By the way, I've got an LG G6 phone. I'm thinking about getting another phone. This one's starting to act up. Sometimes you plug the charger in, I get this flashy thing that says that it detects moisture in my phone and it won't charge. I unplug it and plug it in 2 or 3 times, and then it starts to charge. There's no moisture in the phone. I've been looking it up. The LG G6 seems to have this problem, and you have to send it back to the factory to get it fixed. Well, I'm not going to do that because the factory's probably in China somewhere. I called Verizon, that's who my company I do business with, and they won't do anything. Because I've had it for a couple of years now. They say you got to send it back to China or whoever. So I'm thinking about just getting another phone. I'm thinking about going back to the Galaxy. I had Galaxies for years and I never had a problem with any of them. So anyway, I was going through my phone, messing with it, and I come across this message that apparently I didn't delete. I thought I deleted most of them. And here, I'm going to leave a lot of things out, like names, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Because I promised everybody I would never divulge who sends me anything when it comes to some of these people. I just appreciate the fact that they have come out and they've shook my hand. They have come out and thanked me. They have come out and told me things, and I've never divulged any of it because let's just say that certain people in the villages seems to have a hold on everybody, and apparently they must threaten their job, saying if you talk to this person, I'll fire you. If you say something to that person, I'll fire you. It must be. It says, "Hi Skip." It says, "Although I am writing from another account, I sell homes for a living, and and wanted to thank you for your videos and non-biased info that you share. It's so great, and I meet people, many people, who follow and trust you." Well, that kind of puts me in a bad spot, really. I just tell people what I know. That's all. I'm not trying to convince them to buy anything. I'm not trying to convince them not to buy anything. I just try to put a little information out there so you don't come in here and don't know things you need to know. Somebody sent this person a letter about a book. I know what book she's talking about. There's a book called Leisureville. Somebody made that book up about the villages. It's all about a good read. People take it to heart. They say it's 100% true. It's not. The guy he came to villages. He visited here once, and he wrote this kind of book. It's called Leisureville. It's an interesting read, yes. And she says the same thing. Whoever sent this letter, she sent me a copy of this, and she says the same thing. She says, "There are a few of these books, guides out there. I don't think they are bad, but certainly not factual. If you view it as entertainment and a light-hearted read, it could be helpful and interesting. I think watching Skip's videos on YouTube is a better way to go. He isn't affiliated with anybody. He's not paid. He's not approved by anyone. He's fun and gives accurate info." And that's all I'm going to read. I'm just going to say I thank them for that. I sent them a long letter thanking them for that. I appreciate it. Anyway, there isn't any questions, I don't think, this month. I do have some, but I'm going to do them on the WNL show. I asked everybody to send me a video question on their cell phones or whatever, and I would post them on the WNL show, and I'm going to answer them, and the girls are going to answer them, and we'll just pass the questions around to get other people's opinions about the same question. So that's what we're going to do. So I already got those questions. I didn't get as many as I thought. I thought I'd probably get a good, I don't know, dozen or so anyway. And I really got a handful, but that's okay. We're going to answer them anyway. And so with that being said, let me get out of here and try to finish up some of this work around here in the middle of the night. Before anybody says anything, what's the beer of the day? Iced tea. Yeah, I got probably another hour of work, but I think the show this week will be fairly decent. You know, we're kind of working around the fact that we can't go anywhere. We really can't video anything that much, and you know, it's just hard to get. You know, the WNL show is basically about in each village what's going on, building, reconstructions, sinkholes, fires, anything like that. But we can't get out, can't do anything. I haven't been anywhere. I took a golf cart ride about a week ago, and that's about it. I've been right here at the house ever since. Sue's been here at the house ever since. I don't think she's going to be able to go over to Deb's house to do the WNL show. I think she's going to have to do it here. Deb's going to have to do it there. And I'm not sure what they got planned, but that's my guess anyway. I'm going to get out of here. So anyway, I got giveaways over here. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I got a bunch of maps over here to give away again. If anybody's interested in those, I ain't gonna be able to get any more because all the stores where I get these maps are closed. You can't get in. I've even got a couple of Inside the Bubble books to give away. They're not going to be free. If you want a map, it's going to be a $10 super chat on the show. And I've even got some leftover See You on the Other Side t-shirts that I had last winter that I never got. Everybody wanted the larger sizes. Everybody kept sending me, oh, you need to get me a 4. You need to get me a 4X. I need a 5X. Make sure you get the 4 and 5X. Okay, so I ordered some extra 4 and 5X. Guess what I got over here to give away? Just guess. Yeah. So anyway, and I've got, I don't know, Yeti cups. I got some stuff to give away. And I got some games. I think we got 2 or 3 games we're going to be playing this time. So anyway, with that being said, see you guys on the other side.